ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host of Briggs.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. I am Dono Briggs, and this is Tomorrow's Thespians, the show that gives you an opportunity to see actors performing monologues for you. But before we get to them, let's go ahead and find out who the judges are who are going to critique them. He's one of the stars of the smash hit A Chorus Line, can be seen in the new JetBlue commercials, and is the director and the choreographer of a new musical called Romeo and Bernadette. Please welcome Justin Ross, everyone. Justin.
Thank you.
She's an actress, a producer, and acting teacher known for her role as Tracy DeSanta in Grand Theft Auto 5. She's currently producing a narrative feature that she wrote and will act in called Born That Way. Please welcome Michal, Sinnott, everybody. Famed acting coach. He's the famed acting coach and owner of the Artist Playhouse. He's renowned for acting in such films as Howard Stern's Private Parts, Simone, and Finding Forrester. Everybody, this is Barry Papick.
You acted in Howard. You acted in Simone. You're very fortunate. Barry goes both
Very
ways.
nice, very nice, very nice. Now, let's go ahead and bring out the first performer for this evening doing a self-written monologue titled U.S. Still Needs You. Give it up for Patrick Reed, everyone.
Well, hello, it's good to see you all again. Oh, I'm sorry. Some of you don't know who I am. Well, we're family. I'm your uncle. No, not that kind of an uncle. Wait, let's go back. I had long birthing pains. I first became a nickname for the United States during the War of 1812, when U.S. was stamped on the grub for the soldiers. It was they who gave me the nickname, Uncle Sam. The first picture of me didn't appear until around the 1860s. Why, thank you. I do look good for my age. It could be said that I was drafted by the United States government in 1916 with my image on a poster that read, "I want you for the U.S. Army." Lately, though, my image hasn't been used much, so I thought I'd come out here and talk with you and be a little rebellious. You are familiar with rebellion? Has a lot to do with how our nation came to be, thanks to our founder's vision and a strong foundation. What foundation? The Constitution, Bill of Rights, 3 branches of government, the Declaration of Independence? We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. Did any of you go to government school? Or learn our history when you took the oath to be citizens? This foundation has been shook hard at times. Our Civil War, Abraham Lincoln had to remind us. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the prospect that all men are created equal. 40 years later, Martin Luther King Jr. had to lead a peaceful movement because the Negro was still not free. He believed in and repeated the creed in the Declaration. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. He knew this because he knows the God of creation, and he was able to do it peacefully as a follower of the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty we are free at last. What a speech. Rebellion. It can be as simple as casting a vote. So you don't like the Democrats and the Republicans. Fine, write somebody in. Run for office yourself. You want to be really rebellious though? Remind your friends and neighbors, this is your country, not the politicians. Too many of them are out of touch bloviators, more worried about their own re-election than their country. Being an elected official was meant to be a service to the people, not a career. Hey, it's too late for me. I mean, I'm the face of the government. But I am proud to be mascot for the greatest country in the world. So don't let me down. Uncle Sam needs you.
How appropriate for this time of the year, what we're going through now. All right. Let's hear what the judges
well,
have.
exactly. I'll talk about that in a second.
All
So, Patrick, you were on a show earlier in the season. Is that correct?
I was.
Right.
I was a fill-in.
Right, you did. Oh, and you did the monologue about being bald.
Correct.
Well, so your hair obviously has grown in a few months, and
I got a great hair product.
yeah,
I am.
yeah.
Let's talk after the show. Okay?
I'd like to buy some stock in that. So I felt you wrote this, right?
Correct.
Well, I imagine then that you're a very patriotic American, that you really believe in the good of this country.
I like to think so, and it's actually a 4-minute monologue that I cut down. That was originally a 20-minute speech that I gave at was supposed to give at the Martin Luther King rally in 2004 at the San Francisco Convention Center, and it got cut down to 5 minutes. So I really wanted to bring it back to life in some sense, and that's how I did.
Well, I'm glad you did, and it's like Donald said when he came on, I mean, how apropos at this time in our history with all of the division of, parties and people within particular parties, and I felt that was missing, ironically, since you wrote this, and I would, like I said, assume that you have this issue is a tremendous passion, and it's in the monologue that you wrote, the chiding of the American people to, hello, aren't you listening? Don't you get it? And you bring up various points in our history that that people have forgotten about, and gratefully, people of color are now embracing their history, and but I mean, I don't need to go into all this. Well, because it happens.
It's all right.
Well, no, I mean, it always happens. Generation after generation after generation needs to remind it of what came before then, and I think you embody that beautifully in your writing. As an actor, I wanted you to drop into it more and really own it. Thank you.
Before you go, Michal, I think in his defense, he wrote this in the 1860s, so it wasn't.
Well then,
that explains
yes.
why it wasn't. So I think so. So okay, good.
Yeah, I think it's a little challenging to. So this is a show that's it's supposed to be about the acting, but I feel like what I get from you based on the last performance and this one is that there's something about you that wants to write. You want to write your own work. And I mean, maybe you'll surprise me if you come on the show again and you do a monologue that's not your own, but I don't really know how to speak to what you're performing because I feel like you're delivering a speech rather than really falling into the acting or paying attention to the character. So it's a challenge for me to even, with this second time around, to even really know where to start or what to say, because I feel like these are pieces for you that you want to say something, and you're saying that in the writing, but you're not then making the writing separate and coming to it with a character's point of view. And so, well, your outfit is super fun, and and it's this race also has me terrified about what's going to happen in our country, and there's so much going on, and it is a super important issue, and so you obviously do care about it. So yeah, you have to bring that conviction to it, or the character has to care about it, or we won't care about it. And so it's very challenging for me to tell you what worked or what didn't, because I don't see you even trying to bring that to it, that truth and that conviction, that point of view. So I would just challenge you, if you want to continue as an actor, to try to maybe distance yourself from pieces that aren't so close to the bone or close to you. Try to work on someone else's work and look at that character and see what you can bring to that character. And maybe you're not meant to be an actor. I don't know. Maybe you want to be a writer. But it's challenging for me to know what to say to you, because I feel like the forum is not, you're kind of like not meeting the assignment in a way. I'm sorry.
I am so relieved because I was going to wear that same outfit today. And I chose not to. So I was very lucky. I think if you take a look at Mark Ruffalo's speech at the Bernie Sanders rally, it's on YouTube, you can see how somebody can tie in the passion that they have about the politics. And I'm not saying that I'm not promoting Bernie Sanders. I'm just saying the passion they have about the politics and the passion that they have as an actor getting their point across. See, what happened today was, I like what you wrote. I think it's very good. But you read it from a writer's point of view. I never really saw you drop in from an actor's point of view. And that's why I say watch Mark Ruffalo, because he wrote it from a writer's point of view, but he drops in, as an actor or as a human being. So I think that what you wrote is very good. What you need to do is take that next step and say, if I want to act this, I have to look at it from a whole different point of view than I did as the writer, and really see how I can drop into this. And I think Justin should run for president because certainly the most intelligent man I know, and charismatic. So that's all I have to say.
All right.
All right, thank you for all
Well,
the
thank you,
comments.
Uncle Sam. Patrick Reed. All right. Thank you so much, Patrick. Appreciate that. All right. All right, Patrick. All right. Thank you. All right. Next. Now, speaking of actors, from the movie Good Will Hunting by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, please welcome Bob Rodriquez, everybody. Bob.
Maybe you're perfect the way you are right now, and you don't want to ruin that. I think that's a super philosophy, Will. That way you can go through your entire life without ever having to know anybody. My wife used to fart when she was nervous. She had all sorts of wonderful little idiosyncrasies. She used to fart in her sleep. One night it was so loud it woke the dog up. She woke up and said, "Was that you?" I said, "Yeah." I didn't have the heart to tell. Oh, Christ, Will. She'd been dead 2 years, and that's the shit I remember. Wonderful stuff. Little idiosyncrasies that only I know about. Those are the things I miss the most. Those are the things that made her my wife. When she had the goods on me, too. She knew all my peccadillos. People call these imperfections, but they're not. No, that's the good stuff. Then we get to choose who we let into our weird little worlds. You're not perfect, sport. And let me save you the suspense. This little girl you met, she isn't perfect either. But the real question is whether or not you're perfect for each other. That's the whole deal. That's what intimacy is all about. Now, you can know everything in the damn world, sport, but the only way you're going to figure out this one is by giving it a shot. You sure as hell won't learn from some old fucker like me. Even if I did know, I wouldn't tell a pissant like you. Hey, I just teach this shit. I didn't say I know how to do it.
Let's find out what the judges thought of that, all right? Okay. Let's start off with Justin, please.
I thought your work is really lovely, and this will be one of the rare instances where I'll say that I wish you had taken more time and trusted yourself that much more to really believe that we are invested in you. You exuded a really beautiful, tender, vulnerable, witty, ironic wit, character. And I was asking myself why. What's in it for you here? What are you trying to get out of this exchange? And I understood it by the end because the writing told me. I didn't see it as much at the beginning, but that could be a directorial kind of thing. But really, yeah, beautiful instincts, and again, just terrific work. Trust. Yeah, really, really good. I mean that as high praise. I hope it comes off that way.
Indeed. Thank you so much.
Good. You're very welcome.
Yeah, I thought you were really honest and grounded. I do think that everything that Justin said is right on, but I also, again, it's hard for me to separate this performance from, immediately you think of Robin Williams, and what's at stake for, Will, for Matt Damon's character in this. And this is a speech that is, it's subtle, but he's really trying to get through to him in a really deep way. He's trying to get through to someone that is really always has it together and never shows he's vulnerable. And so I feel like in order to take it to the next level, what you did was great, it was good, but I think there's more in there. And you have to show us your vulnerability more, and you have to really, really care and really want to save the person that's in front of you. And while that was there, I feel like it could be there more. So I would challenge you to find that as you continue to work on it.
Thank you.
Thank
Can I
you.
say something just before you interrupt?
It's just before may I interrupt you
Yes.
for just a second? Just on that note, we've talked about this on a couple of shows now, and there can be a real danger of taking on a role that is so well identified with another actor. I didn't say anything because there was a time constraint in the other episode about Marlon Brando. I don't have the same fond memories of Marlon Brando in that particular role. I saw that when it first came out, 45, however many years ago, 40, I was a young man. I didn't really understand it. I don't doubt that it was a brilliant performance, but it wasn't that iconic to me that I didn't believe the young, much younger actors' portrayal of saying those words. And in this case as well, I know Good Will Hunting is a very beloved film, and did it win him an Academy Award? I know it won Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, but I don't think it won him an Academy Award. And I wouldn't recommend that you discard this, because I would say maybe you don't want to put it on film if you're looking for stuff for your acting role, for your acting reel. That's a choice that, but so I just respectfully disagree.
Yeah, and I have no problem with you doing this. And I have, just as I had no problem with that young man doing Brando, except for the fact that if you're going to do Brando, you better do damn well. And the same thing with...
But he wasn't doing Brando. He was doing that character that Brando
true.
played.
No, I agree.
But you can't separate it from that. There's one performance out there of Last Tango in Paris.
And by the way,
No, I
and by the way,
disagree.
I don't mind that, but it was perfect, and I don't see how it's hard to challenge perfection. I think you should watch Last Tango again, because you'll see the performance is incredible. Now, this being said, I am Gus Van Zant's on-set coach, so I know this piece incredibly well, and I know Gus, who directed this piece, incredibly well. I thought you did a very good job. I thought it was very good. I didn't think it was great, and I'll tell you why I didn't think it was great. Because I saw the wife so clearly. It was beautiful and it was wonderful. I didn't see Will at all, and I thought that that's where you really dropped the ball. That the personalization for Will has to be so strong here. Remember, if you're shooting this as a film and not just doing this as a monologue, you're going to do this monologue 30 times. So you better get it right 30 times. So that means you better personalize it, and you better have dropped into that piece. You know, this is, I have no problem with you doing an iconic piece like this. Like, I think, a matter of fact, I respect you for doing it. But get it right. And I think that there was things in it that were so beautiful, and you really moved me. And then there was other places where I thought you dropped the ball, and I think that you have to challenge yourself to be 100% in this piece.
Bob Rodriquez. Bob. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Our final performer for this show, during the play called Hamilton by Lin-Manuel Miranda, please welcome Jihan Sabir.
I imagine death so much, it feels more like a memory. Is this where it gets me? On my feet? Several feet ahead of me? I see it coming. Do I run or grab my gun? Or let it be? It has no beat, no melody. My first friend, my enemy. Maybe the last face I'll ever see. If I throw away my shot, is this how you remember me? What if this bullet is my legacy? Legacy. What's a legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see. I wrote the notes at the beginning of the song. Someone will sing for me. America, you great unfinished symphony, you sing for me. You let me make a difference. A place where even orphan immigrants can leave their fingerprints and rise up. I'm running out of time. My time is up. I catch a glimpse of the other side. Lawrence leads the soldiers' chorus on the other side. He's with my son on the other side. He's with my mother on the other side. Washington is watching from the other side. Teach me how to say goodbye. Rise up. Rise up! Rise up. My love, take your time. I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. Jihan Sabir, everybody. Let's find out what the judges thought of that, all right? Justin, please.
Well, you know, I enjoyed a good deal of it. I think that you did very, very well by the, the iambic pentameter-ness of it, the rhyme. You didn't fall into the trap of hitting the rhyme each time, and instead it felt like a very organic sentiment. That said, technically, I think you've got what it takes to really, like when we talk about dropping into the emotional reality of it for you, but it wasn't always there today. You went in and out, and it was really, I would be careful, I personally would be careful critiquing you if I didn't think that you had the other half that was there and then sometimes wasn't there. You know, I wouldn't waste my time, and I wouldn't want to hurt your feelings. So I hope you take this in the spirit that it's intended, which is, you know, if you felt there were moments there, then it was real. And I felt all that passion and that anger. And then there were other times when it was more actorly. So now you just got to blend the two, and also just be careful of your vocal quality, because you dropped your voice a number of times, and I really had to strain to hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have a really great quality about you that will serve you well. in Yocha Korea. It's yeah, there's just something really, there's a lightness about you that's great. And it's great when you're playing someone that, you know, is dealing with something heavy, because it takes care of the, you can go to those places and you still have the lightness, which is good. I think that, I don't have many notes. I think it's a good first go through. I think you can be more specific, and there's places you can find that are to deepen it. But the one note I do have is, like, towards the end, one of the rises up. I think that it will serve the character better if that's coming from not from her pain, but from her power. Like, it's not about you, it's not about the character, it's about this person you're trying to save. So let it, like, give your power to that person, and it'll just have, it'll come from more strength rather than the pain that the character's obviously feeling. Thank you.
Sometimes you really moved me, and then sometimes you really pissed me off. And I'll tell you why. Because everything was right there. You were right there. And by the way, I think you're wonderful. You know,
thank you.
I really like to watch you. Everything was right there. Yet there were 2 or 3 places where you really tried to reach for it. You know, your reach exceeded your grasp, and you didn't have to. The moments were truthful. All you have to do is let them live. Yet you know, and Justin talked about it a little bit. So be really careful not to go too far to reach for something when the truth is just right there, and all you have to do is live in it and believe it. Take your time, live in the truth, and that way you won't piss me off.
Jihan, Sabir, everybody. Jihan, Sabir, Papick, Bob Rodriquez, everybody. Thank you all once again. Thank the judges. Thank the audience. Thank the crew. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you guys next time on Tomorrow's Thespian.